It is that time. What's going on, guys? It's me, Westtown HD. Today, guys, we are counting down, or making a list, I should say, of 10 GameCube games I'd like to see brought to the Switch via Virtual Console or remake. I have not seen really anyone talking about this topic, so I decided to dive into this marketplace while it was still open. But before we get into that, guys, just make sure to leave a like on the video, and let me know what you guys want to see brought to the Switch via GameCube games. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Starting off this list at number 10, we have Super Smash Bros. Melee. I'm not one of the people campaigning hard for Melee HD. Having this competitive fighter go portable would be a dream come true, however. They have to find a way to get it working with a single Joy-Con due to the fact GameCube controller had a very sensitive RL, like, trigger inputs. Like, if you held it lightly, it would do a light shield. If you clicked it, it would do a heavy shield, but it'd be a task, to say the least. Let me start by saying this game is one you can only weigh in on if you've played it. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom is best described as SpongeBob meets Mario 64. With over 10 vast worlds to explore and more than 100 collectibles, it makes you wonder who thought turning SpongeBob into an RPG with open world capabilities would make such an impact. Selling over 3 million copies across Xbox, GameCube, and PS2, it's safe to say this game didn't go overlooked. At least outside Japan. Mario Sunshine is one of those games that without a doubt would look stunning in a remake. Mario Odyssey was fun, but it just couldn't give me the same feel that Mario Sunshine did. I'll chalk that one up to nostalgia. On top of motion controls not being invented yet, I'm hoping they'd not force them on you this time around like Galaxy and Odyssey did. As well as the Switch could use some more Mario games anyway. Mario Party 8, failure. Mario Party 9, failure. Mario Party 10, failure. See a trend? The last few Mario Party games have just not been very good. There's hope for Super Mario Party coming in October, but I'd still like to see a classic Mario Party game brought to the Switch, that game being Mario Party 4. This is tied only with Mario Party 2 for being my all-time favorite Mario Party game. If they brought it back to the Switch, I'd be ecstatic. Here's to hoping that Super Mario Party is what the doctor ordered, so we can have a game to tide us over until a GameCube Virtual Console or a Nintendo 64 Classic is announced. How many racing games can you say made you cry or just straight up made you kick your GameCube controller across the room? For me, that can only be said for F-ZeroGX. With all that being said, I will say this game is the most fun I've ever had with a futuristic racer. That on top of it being an F-Zero game. Seeing this game brought to Switch could not only revive the series as a whole, but bring some newcomers in who only know Captain Falcon as the golden-nippled Falcon Puncher. If they did bring it to Switch, I'd only want one thing changed. Make the game harder. Give us Ultra Instinct hard mode. No touching the walls, no touching other cars. Just you, just cars. Go fast, go wild, don't die, hit everything. But I digress. I'm gonna put these two games together as they kinda are basically like similar games, and that being Pokemon XD and Pokemon Colosseum. Having both these classic Pokemon adventures on a handheld would be marvelous. Being able to trade between games without the use of a GameCube to GBA wired cable would be a dream. Imagine they release all the Generation 3 games on 3DS Virtual Console and you could transfer between the Switch Pokemon XD and Colosseum with the 3DS variants of Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire, and Leaf Green, etc. Reliving that would be genuine fun and a really good opportunity. Coming in at 4th, we have what my very first Star Fox game and favorite of all time, that being Star Fox Adventures. The way I came into this game was during my 7th or 8th birthday. My uncle brought the game as a present to our birthday dinner and I fell in love. At my age, I didn't exactly know where or what to do. Not knowing you go to different areas through the R-Wing, I wandered around aimlessly, just repeating the tutorial as Crystal Fox. But I did beat the game at around the age of 9 and I was proud. But enough nostalgia. This game gets too much hate. I've never been one for rail shooters, period, so the aspect of being able to walk around freely was what I liked most about it compared to other Star Fox games. And I know it was a different game in development and they slapped Star Fox on it to make it sell, but I honestly think that did both parties good. The story I found to be very interesting as well. Just to briefly summarize the story, I consulted the wiki. Being able to play this game anywhere on top of it being re-released to a wider demographic would surely be a recipe for awesomeness. Number 3 is a game very special to my heart, and that's Battalion Wars. I loved Advance Wars and turn-based strategy games. When I started playing Battalion Wars, I fell in love instantly. It was the strategy I wanted mixed in real time. Driving tanks, flying planes, running around with an army close behind, what's not to love? If they added the motion controls from the second game using the Joy-Cons like you would Wiimotes, this game would be a perfect 10 out of 10 for me, as the controls didn't hold up too well in the heat of battle. Of course, in a perfect world, I'd like to see this series revived with Battalion Wars 3 following maybe a prequel to flesh out more of the antagonists, as both Battalion Wars games have a severe lack of playing as the villains. Where would this list be without one of the most addictive games on Gamecube? Sonic Adventure 2 is the pinnacle of Sonic games to most fans. I know people who aren't even fans but told me they played for the chows alone, and I honestly can't fault them for that. The chows are what gave this game replayability. Chows aside, however, this game still has so much to offer. Its soundtrack alone is enough to pick it up. If I could, I would use my Switch as the MP3 for this game, but it's too big for that, unfortunately. With 3 stories and just about 180 emblems to collect on top of the Chow Garden, this is a Sonic game that would take you quite some time to complete, and being able to play a stage or 2 on the bus to work would be a must. Before we dive into our number 1 pick, here's some honorable mentions. Games that didn't make the list for one reason or another, but games that still shaped my childhood and games I would love to see make it to the Switch. Number 1 is what I consider to be my favorite GameCube game of all time. Sitting at number 1, we have Kirby Air Ride. This game was a massive part of my childhood, as well as a really fun game to play with tons of friends. What made this game so addictive was the achievement system. Throughout the game's 3 game modes, you'd be rewarded with new unlocks for filling out specific goals and objectives, like clearing a race in a certain time regimen or destroying all the rocks at the volcano during City Trial. It was these simple achievements that gave you something to aim towards instead of just messing around. But that arguably isn't even the best part of the game. Most people remember this title for its City Trial game mode, in which you and 3 other players/CPUs are thrown into a city-like arena to mess around for 5 to 7 minutes. The first order of business is usually to find a new vehicle, as very few people stay with the default compact star. Throughout the map, power-ups as well as stat buffs fall from the sky in the form of boxes. The goal here is to win the big event at the end of the trial. That can range from a simple race to a free-for-all deathmatch. Some players prefer to just attack everyone during the trial to keep them down and steal some easy power-ups, even destroying their choice of vehicle to make them potentially have to do the final trial in the default compact star. The reason I'm clamoring for a port/sequel to this game is because of how fun it is. Getting a few friends together to smash it out in City Trial, being able to take it on the go or play it online would be nothing short of a dream come true. The only other party game I ever enjoyed this much, if not more, was Super Smash Bros., which funny enough happens to be the same head, being none other than Masahiro Sakurai himself. Hence the reason Super Smash Bros. 3DS had a mode known as Smash Run, which was very reminiscent of this game mode. It's for this reason, however, I don't see a sequel happening anytime soon with the release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate around the corner. But then again, if we were to see another version of this game, I'd be hard-pressed to believe that Sakurai would be at the reins during its inception, as Nintendo has kinda nailed him to a Smash coffin as of late. But enough rambling on. I believe Kirby's Air Ride could find a very much newfound needed love, if it were to be brought to handheld, and would get people ready for potential of a sequel. Nintendo, you picking up what I'm putting down? We can dream, I suppose. That's gonna do it for today's top 10. But I'm curious, what GameCube games do you guys want to see remade or ported to the Switch / make it to the Virtual Console? I would love to spark up a discussion with you on the topic. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to join the West Town Warriors today, and I will see you all next time. Deuces!